What are the best reliable cars that you can buy for under $10,000? That's what we're going to find out. Welcome to Car Help Corner, where we help you, the consumer, master the process of car buying and car ownership. For this video, I'm going to share 10 of the best cars that you can buy for under 10 grand that are reliable, well made, and will last you for years without expensive repairs or issues. This list will include a few surprises, including one car that I actually bought myself for a family member, which I'll share more details on later on. But first, let's start the list off at number 10 with a safe, predictable choice, and that is the Honda Civic. The Civic is the exact type of car that's perfectly suited for someone shopping on a tight budget. It is extremely reliable, fuel efficient, cheap to maintain and repair, and plentiful on the used car market. But because they are so reliable and well made, Civics are definitely not cheap to buy. It will take quite a bit of searching to find a really nice example for under 10 grand. I'd focus on one made between 2012 to 2015. 2013 being the best year, just before Honda introduced their CVT. Find a good one and you'll have a solid car that will last you a really long time. The next car at number 9 is a very similar story, and that is the Toyota Corolla. Like the Civic, Corollas are known for their exceptional reliability and low operating costs. Find a nice example that has been properly maintained and it will last an eternity. For under 10 grand, the best years are those made between 2014 to 2016, but any years are really fine for this one. They are tough, well-made, fuel-efficient cars, perfect for those looking for no-nonsense transportation. The issue with the Corolla, much like the Civic, because they have such strong resale value and are so desirable to buy, it is not easy to find a really good one that's not too worn out for under 10 grand. Which is what makes the next car at number 8 such a great choice, and that is the Mazda III. The Mazda III is another well-made, reliable Japanese car, arguably nearly as good as the other two, but because it doesn't have quite the same resale value, it is easier to find a newer and fresher one with lower mileage for below 10 grand. I own a Mazda 3 and I absolutely love it, and the older ones are great cars as well. Just try to buy one from 2012 or newer, ideally with the better, more fuel efficient Skyactiv engine, and you're good to go. The next car at number 7 is pretty much the definition of affordable transportation, and that car is the Toyota Yaris. The Yaris is a small hatchback that was super affordably priced when new, and still represents a great value buy when shopping for one used. It doesn't really matter the year, they are all incredibly reliable with very simple Toyota engines and transmissions that can run forever with excellent fuel efficiency. This is another no-nonsense car perfect for those who want a problem-free ownership experience. And the next car at number 6 is a very similar story, and that is the Honda Fit. The Fit is a very similar type of small hatchback as the Yaris, only I find it a bit more appealing because it is more spacious and has really clever folding back seats, making it a really practical car. Aside from that, this is another super reliable car that really has no major concerns or bad years. Find a well-maintained one that's in good shape and you're good to go. The next car at number 5 is one I'm throwing in for those who really want to have a hybrid. And if that's what you're seriously considering, the number 1 choice is the Toyota Prius. Not only is the Prius one of the original hybrid cars, but it remains one of the best ones with incredible fuel economy and unrivaled reliability. They are incredibly well made, but be mindful that hybrid battery failure will be a concern buying an older one that's in this price range. Your best bet is to buy one that's already had its hybrid battery replaced, or at least budget for this when negotiating the price and have a replacement option lined up ready to go. Third-party remanufactured batteries are not as expensive as you might think, and after factoring this into your budgeting and negotiation, you could land yourself an amazing deal on an incredible car. Now, the issue that most of the cars on this list have so far now is that they are incredibly desirable models that are really sought after, which means that used car prices are really high, and it's not going to be easy to find a really good one for under 10 grand. When shopping in this price range, you need to be strategic and consider a model that's off the radar of most shoppers. Models that most shoppers would not think to search for, but are still excellent, reliable cars. And the next one at number 4 is a perfect example of that, and that is Scion. Scion was a sub-brand of Toyota designed to appeal to younger buyers on a budget. They were essentially just rebodied and rebadged Toyotas, and because most consumers have now forgotten about Scion, or didn't even know it existed in the first place, you can find them for pretty attractive prices without the normal Toyota badge tax. But you are still getting a proper Toyota. The Scion IM, for example, is just a rebadged Corolla hatchback. And the sporty Scion TC and the boxy Scion XB both use the drivetrain from the Toyota Camry. So take your pick, enjoy the savings, and enjoy the same great Toyota reliability, but at a slightly more affordable price. Now before we get to the final cars, including the one that I bought for myself, I have one more hidden gem off the radar car that you need to take a look at. And that car is the one at number 3, which is the Nissan Micra. Now normally I would not recommend a used Nissan because of their history of CVT problems. But the Micra is one exception because it did not have a CVT. The Micra came with either a 5-speed manual or a simple 4-speed conventional automatic transmission, paired to Nissan's proven 1.6 4-cylinder engine, which made it far more reliable than the rest of the Nissan model range. They were so durable that Nissan even felt confident enough to give them their own dedicated racing series, which was called the Micra Cup. The Micra is no joke. They are simple, well-made, and super affordable, making them a great used car buy for a small budget. But only if you live in Canada or outside the US, because that's right, sadly the Micra was not sold in America. And finally, that brings us to the final 2 cars on the list in the number 2 and number 1 spot, which I'm putting together. And those cars are the Toyota Matrix and the Pontiac Vibe. The Matrix and Vibe are mechanically identical siblings. They are exactly what one should look for in an affordable used car. They are practical, fuel efficient, cheap and easy to repair, extremely reliable, and a little bit off the radar. Mechanically, they are the exact same vehicle, but I do slightly prefer the Vibe because the prices tend to be a little bit lower because you are avoiding that Toyota badge tax. Remember what I said about being off the radar? As proof, I recently purchased one for a family member. The one I purchased is a 2010 model, the final year that they were made, with an incredibly low 65,000 kilometers or around 40,000 miles. One owner, well maintained with fully documented service records since brand new. And it was even rust proofed at Crown Rust Control annually, so the body and undercarriage are rock solid. The purchase price that I got this example for was $5,000. And after replacing the original fluids, the original tires and brake pads, which were borderline passing safety, the total price still came to only around $6,500, which is an absolute bargain price for such a solid, fresh example of a super reliable car that could easily run perfectly for many, many years. That's how it's done. Now I know when you're searching, it can be extremely challenging to find any one of these cars for a really attractive price. But don't be tempted by other models just because the prices are a lot lower. There is often a really good reason for that, and if you end up with a problematic car that costs you thousands to repair, well then you really have not saved anything, and you're going to wish that you bought one of the cars on this list in the first place. Just remember, before you purchase any used car, whether it's one that's known to be reliable or not, or whatever the case may be, always get it inspected by a mechanic that you can trust before you make the purchase. A pre-purchase inspection can save you a ton of money on the long run and prevent a lot of future headaches. And I'm certainly happy with the purchase that I made with the Pontiac Vibe. I did a pre-purchase inspection, everything turned out great, and hopefully it's going to treat my family really well down the road. And who knows, I might make some future videos on it and tell you more about it down the road. For now, let me know what you thought of this video, and if you enjoyed this video, make sure to like and subscribe. You can also check out my other videos by clicking these links over here. Make sure to follow me on Instagram, and if you need additional car buying advice, recommendations, or help with getting a great deal on your next new car purchase, make sure to visit carhelpcan.com. Thanks so much for watching, and see you next time.